Hi guys. You know when you're just in one of those moods where everything's funny, even though it's not? So I've just been laughing at myself for the last half an hour, and my camera's at a funny angle. I'm going to sit like this to do my video. So basically, I'm going to do a video, and I don't know if it's going to help anyone because there's probably so many other videos on this, but I'm going to do a video on how to put contact lenses in and how to take them out. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I'm an optician. I fit contact lenses all the time, and I've seen some really strange things that people do with their contact lenses, not on YouTube but in real life. And I just think I'm gonna tell you what I think and how I think the best way is to kind of remove contact lenses and put them. I'm sorry, I'm about to giggle again. I really should just control myself before I make videos. So basically, the contact lenses come in these little blister packs that look like this. Don't worry about the brand because it's completely irrelevant. So what you basically need to do, I've actually already got a lens in at the moment, but I just want to take this out of the pack so you guys can see exactly what the lens looks like. So obviously before I've touched my hands or touched anything or done anything, I have washed my hands, and I would say you have to make sure that your hands are absolutely, completely and utterly dry before you handle the contact lens, because the first biggest rule with contact lenses, if you ask any optician, is no tap water anywhere near your contact lenses. Tap water contains lots of nasty little bacteria, acanthamoeba being the worst one, and if you get that into your contact lens material, or it gets embedded inside it because you haven't dried your hands properly, or because you've rinsed your contact lens with tap water, you can potentially lose your sight because it'll just start eating away at the front of your eye basically. I don't want to go into much more details apart from please dry your hands. Don't use a fluffy towel because inevitably you will get fibres and stuff stuck on your fingers, which is not really good. When you put the lens in, you'll be able to feel it and it'll be horrible. So basically use something like a dishcloth towel or something so that it hasn't got lots of fluffy bits on it. Completely dry your hands, don't moisturise, don't put any hand sanitizer, just make sure your hands are completely dry. So contact lens, this is just a daily disposable I found in my cupboard. So what you need to basically do is when you open the packet, literally just tear it open like that, and the lens will kind of sit like in a bowl shape like this, and that's the way that it wants to go into your eye. So what you need to basically do, let me see if I can zoom this in. I'm sorry about the angle, it's just my computer's having a bit of a spaz moment. Okay, so you basically just want to scoop the contact lens onto your finger, so it's basically just there. And it is really fragile and obviously really, really flimsy, and that's basically what the contact lens itself should look like. Before you insert the lens into your eye, obviously just make sure that the lens is clean, make sure it doesn't have any bits in it, and make sure that it's not damaged or anything like that. So that's basically what you need to do before you put anything in your eye. I've already put the lens in, so all I'm going to do is actually show you how to take it out, and then I'm going to put it back in again. So basically, to take a contact lens out of your eye, I always put the opposite hand over the top. Let me just see if I can zoom in. So, okay, so basically, opposite hand goes, oh god, that is funny angles. Opposite hand over the top, and you need to basically use your ring finger to pull your lower lid down so that you can see the whole coloured part of the eye. The contact lens itself sits about 1 millimetre around the brown part of my eye. And so all you need to basically do is pull the lens down with your middle finger, and then scoop the lens out at the bottom with your thumb, and that's basically the lens then on your finger. So let me zoom that back out again so you can see that I've got the lens in now, and now I can't see anything. So basically that's what the contact lens looks like when it comes out. Obviously check that it's whole, check that it's not missing chunks or anything like that. So you do exactly the same thing to put the lens back in your eye. So what you do, opposite hand goes over the top, ring finger pulls the lens down, and I would use the index finger or the middle finger just to put the lens directly on the eye. I have been wearing contact lenses for quite a long time. I tend to wiggle it a little bit just to kind of get rid of any air bubbles, and then that then means that when I blink, the contact lens isn't going to kind of pop straight back out again. So you can either, when you take the lens out, I'll show you again when I take it out in a second, you can either use your middle finger to pull the lens down and then use your thumb to pinch out. Some people find it easier with their pointy finger to again pull the lens down and then just pinch it out with your thumb. I'd always say the opposite hand needs to go over the top so that your lids and lashes are completely out the way. And I know you're going to look a bit freakish, but that's what you physically need to do, because I've seen so many people have the lens on their finger, they go near the eye, they're doing that, and then they let go, and then the lens comes towards them and they're going they just can't get their lens in. And I'm not taking the piss out of my patients, but that's basically what they do. So sometimes I physically have to clamp the lens open and physically say to them, look, this is how tight it needs to feel, so that you can't blink even if you want to. But obviously, because they're so worried about putting the lens in, obviously their eye just kind of closes. And I do sympathise, because I did start wearing contact lenses when I was about 15 years old, and I think it took me about 45 minutes to get my first lens out, and then after that I thought, I don't want to do this because it's too hard. But I promise you, with practice it does get easier. So opposite hand over the top, in ring finger to pull the lens down. Last time I used my middle finger, but I'll use my index finger this time. But actually, if I use the do you know what, I'm going to use the middle finger so you can see what I'm doing. So drag the lens down to the bottom and then have your thumb there ready. Oh, so you can just, and now the lens isn't coming out. And so just pinch it out. Because the lens is quite dry now, it just kind of got stuck to the eye. If you find that the lens is too dry and you can't physically grab it, then what you need to do is just buy some saline. Just buy some saline or some eye drops, and then just pop them into your eye. So what you can always do is just put a couple of drops of solution on there, obviously when the lens is in your eye, and it should be easy to take out. Some people find if they attempt to put the lens in about 5 or 6 times and it's just not going in, by the time they've got the lens in, it's really quite dry and it's really uncomfortable. So what you need to do, again, I'm just going to show you one more time how to put the lens in. So opposite hand goes over the top. Let's see if I can zoom in again. Opposite hand goes over the top, ring finger pulls the lid down, and then index finger straight onto the middle of your eye. I tend to give it a really gentle wiggle with my finger, so I'm just stroking the lens, and then when you take your finger away, you should be able to blink as normal. What tends to happen when people don't wiggle the lens around a little bit, and this isn't a rule because some people can do it fine, but I tend to find if I don't wiggle the lens, when I move my finger away, the lens comes back off with it, because there's been air trapped underneath the lens, and it's just not settled and it's not suctioned to the front of my eye. I hope this was helpful. Basically, also, before I go, don't ever sleep in your contact lenses unless they are the specific day and night contact lenses. Don't wear them for more hours than your optometrist has advised you to wear them for, because if you overwear your contact lenses, there are always different lenses that you can use that will allow the oxygen to your eyes. Don't overwear daily disposable lenses, because by the end of the day they're going to be completely dried out, your eye is going to feel very uncomfortable, probably quite red and sore, and you're going to probably struggle to get them out as well because they would have dried out. And if the lens dries out, you're not getting the oxygen that you need to your eye. So effectively, long term, 3 or 4 years down the line, the optician might say to you, actually, you know what, you need to try something different because your eyes are just damaged. Sometimes we can actually see the problems before they happen. So if your optician advises you that you're overwearing the lenses and you've told them that you only wear them 6 days a week, we can tell that you wear them for longer just from the state of your eyes. There are always lenses you can try that will give you a longer wearing time and probably be more comfortable for you as well. But the biggest things with contact lenses, like I said, number 1, do not get tap water anywhere near your contact lenses. If it's a monthly disposable lens and you're given solution with it, that is the only solution that should touch your contact lenses. Number 2, don't swim in the lenses unless you've got really, really, really bad eyesight. You need to go for a swimming lesson at school or something, and obviously your glasses aren't practical, but make sure that you take your lenses out as soon as you get out of the water, because there is really nasty stuff in swimming pools. You've got the chemicals, the bleach, and sometimes people pee in there. Do you want to get that into your eye? No, probably not. So make sure that your contact lenses come out as soon as you get out of the pool, and only use daily disposables when you're in the pool or in the sea or anything like that, because if they get contaminated, technically, again, you can lose your sight, and I've seen it happen. And the There's one more thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, no, basically a lot of people ask me, especially first time wearers, they often ask me, can a contact lens ever get stuck behind your eye? The answer is no, it can't get stuck behind the eye, but it can get stuck underneath your eyelid, which is why the optician has to then flip your eyelid inside out with a cotton bud or something. So because your eye is surrounded by, so your eyeball's there, you've got eye muscles surrounding the whole eye area, so there is no way a contact lens can get stuck forever and ever behind your eye. It will always work its way out. Best way to try and remove a lens if you think you've got it stuck in there without doing too much fiddling is literally just the corner where you feel the lens is, just kind of massage it. And like I said, if in doubt, go and see your optician, because if you've managed to take your contact lens out and you've only got half of it there, then you really need to obviously make sure that you get the other half out, because in its own time it will work its way out, but obviously it'll be quite uncomfortable while it's there. And like I said, I found contact lenses in people's eyes that have been there for a couple of days, so, and they've been completely unaware of it, and which, you know, completely shocks me. But obviously some people are very, very unsensitive to stuff in their eyes. So I hope this was helpful to somebody, but please remember to wash your hands before you insert your lenses and after. And if you're a girl and you wear makeup, always put your lenses in before you do your makeup, because again, I've done contact lens fittings for people where they've come in with loads of eye makeup and loads of concealer and loads of eyeliner, and then I've gone, right, now I'm going to teach you how to put your lenses in and take them out, and by the end of it they've got mascara all over their fingers, they've got eyeliner running down their face, and then by that time they're going to get some sort of makeup on the contact lens as well. So basically, if you're going to put contact lenses in, it makes it a lot easier to put the lenses in before you've applied anything to your face at all. So my face has got absolutely nothing on it, no moisturiser, absolutely nothing, and that's the best time, because you're not going to get stuff on your lenses if you're fiddling around with your eyes. So like I said, I hope this was helpful to somebody. If you have any questions about eyes, I'm sure I can answer it, because I've done 4 years of like studying for this, and I just hope that if you guys had any sort of queries about how to put lenses in and take them out, that I've resolved it. Obviously, that's not the only way to take contact lenses in and out. The other way that I've generally shown people, if they're really struggling, is to kind of squeeze the lens between their eyelids. But I think with that method, you can either do it or you can't. So what you need to do is basically lift the top lid above the lens, push the bottom lid underneath the lens, and then literally just squeeze them together. But you need to make sure that you've got your finger right up against there, so there's no space for that lens to go. And I only get that method if somebody is absolutely adamant that they can't touch the front of their eye. I have fitted people with contact lenses as young as 8, and that was just because in those kind of situations where I've done that, it's been either a safety thing because they play a lot of sports and the glasses have been damaged, or on one occasion actually it was because the little boy was being bullied because he had such bad eyesight. So in that case, you know, him and his mum came in with me, we had a long discussion about the lenses, and we're very strict about his wearing time, but you know what, he was fantastic. So you know, there's not really a certain age range, because there are some, you know, 12, 13-year-olds that I will refuse to fit with contact lenses because they don't seem very mature, and you have to be mature when you're doing something that, you know, can potentially cause you nasty eye infections and ulcers and all sorts of things on your eye. So like I said, I hope this was helpful to somebody. If not, there are loads of other videos probably with the same thing of people showing you how to put contact lenses in and out. I wear contact lenses myself. I've worn my glasses in some of my videos. The reason I don't like wearing glasses in all of my videos is because of the reflection. I found it quite distracting when I was watching myself back. But also when I'm applying makeup, it's a lot easier when I've got contact lenses in, so I can actually see what I'm doing. So that's it. That's what I'm going to talk about. And that's hopefully, like I said, hopefully it helps somebody out there. But if you have any more questions, I'm sure I'll be able to answer the questions for you. And I will see you in the next video.